Now, honestly, I wasn't planning to do a new video on Czechia for some time now, but after what just happened in the country's politics, we simply need to talk. Because what just happened is not only disgusting, it's also incredible. And unfortunately for all of us, we need to talk about Filip Turek again. You remember him? The guy who happens to have celebrated Hitler, happens to have celebrated violence, and also happened to have wanted to be minister in the new Czech government. Now, that guy wasn't appointed minister because the president, Petr Pavel, has refused it for the very fact that he celebrated Hitler and violence. So he's not fit to be minister in any sensible government in Europe, at least. But it seems that his party has openly declared war on the president for refusing to appoint him. We have Petr Macinka, who is now the new foreign minister. Remember the position that Turek initially wanted and the president said no. Now, on paper at least, Macinka is also the leader of the party that Turek ran for, the Motorists. As party leader, he's apparently decided to blackmail the Czech president into appointing Turek as minister. Yes, you heard me. Now, the president himself announced the attempts at blackmail at an emergency press conference. That in itself is unprecedented. But he also released screenshots of text messages that Macinka sent to the president. Just take a look. They are really incredible and disgusting at the same time. Just take a look to read them yourselves. The first screenshot. There are multiple striking things. For example, Macinka says that he's ready to burn bridges so much that it will go down in political science textbooks as an extreme case of cohabitation. And he also claims that he has the full support of Andrej Babiš, the prime minister, and the extremist SPD, about whom we talked about in a recent video as well. When we move on, in the next sentence, he admits that the president wouldn't allow himself to be blackmailed, but immediately thereafter, he starts to openly blackmail the president. For example, he says that unless the president signs off, meaning unless he appoints Turek as minister, nothing will be possible, meaning that nothing that the president wants to do will be approved by the Czech government. What else is that other than blackmail? Now, the second screenshot is actually more striking even, because Macinka openly admits that the only reason why Czechia has decided not to transfer unused fighter jets to Ukraine is the fact that, according to Macinka, the president had been talking too much with the media, as if that was a problem if you're the head of state with the strongest mandate in Czech politics. So basically, it is also Ukraine that is suffering openly as a result of this unprecedented blackmail. This screenshot shows that Macinka is willing to fight for Turek brutally and without any scruples. And then what I think is the most striking and disgusting sentence of all is that the time to calm the situation down expires on Wednesday. So basically, a sitting minister in the Czech government is giving an ultimatum to the head of state. The worst part in all this is that there was a very simple way out without all of this blackmail. Of course there was. Because yes, while some people, including the whole Motorists Party of course, claim that the president acted against the law when he refused to sign off on Turek's nomination, they could have referred the case to the Czech Constitutional Court, which is the only authority which can legally decide on disputes between the government and the president. Petr Pavel, the president himself, said that he would want the government to refer the case to the Constitutional Court. Listen to me. He wished for the government to refer the case to the court because he himself wanted legal confirmation on whether or not it is possible that he refuses a ministerial nomination. Now, bear with me. The government openly declined to refer the case to the court, so there is no authority who can legally decide who is right, whether it's Macinka and Babiš or the president. So we're stuck in limbo because without the president's signature and without the Constitutional Court, there is no authority to say what the correct process is, but they're still pushing for that blackmail. So that brings me to the only possible conclusion. The motorists know that Turek will not be a minister. Pavel is not the one to be blackmailed. He used to be a professional soldier. He's not going to be blackmailed by the likes of Macinka. No, definitely not. Macinka is just playing a strong man. But he's refusing to be really strong because if they really thought that the president was acting against the law, there would be nothing in the world to stop them to go to the Constitutional Court and ask for that final clarification. Now, we can of course only guess why they're so afraid to refer the case to the court. Maybe because they're afraid that the court would also rule that a neo-Nazi cannot be minister in the Czech government. But what's really important is there's not going to be a final, legal, conclusive and binding decision without that referral to the court, because the government is too weak to do it. And the very key thing now is what the Prime Minister Andrej Babiš now does about Macinka and his statements. I'm afraid that he's not going to do anything because, as we've also discussed in Prague Pulse as well, Babiš needs the government, including the motorists, at least for now, so that he gets his immunity vote and is protected from prosecution. That immunity vote should happen sometime in February, and until then, I'm just convinced that nothing's going to happen and Babiš is going to stay silent about Macinka because he needs him. What's going to happen after that, no one knows. But the fact of the matter is that we now have a government of weak people, people who are afraid to speak up, and a prime minister who is even willing to have a sitting minister in his own government who is not afraid to openly blackmail the president only because he needs him for his own protection from prison. That's the situation we're in, and that's how deep we've plunged within a few months. Now, this is just a short rant because I wanted to let you know quickly what's happening in Czechia. As you see, there's tons of things going wrong in the region, not only in Czechia. We'll definitely be watching. So if you don't want to miss it, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and also make sure to download the 2026 survival guides that I put together. It's in the pinned comment down below, and I'm going to see you very soon. This has been Jan. See you next time.